Welcome to a day in the life of Kris Gethin. So I just got my ass up. That coffee machine woke my ass up, but I'm making my own coffee that sunshines, it's decaffeinated. I like to have a half calf. So what I usually do, or what I don't do, is I don't check the phone when I get my ass up. I don't check the computer, don't check my emails, I don't go on social media. I just take care of myself, and that's a full-time job as it is. And I'm not very good at multitasking. So I've put a little bit of half calf in there, and now I'm going to put a little bit of caffeinated, just a tad, in there. And whilst that is boiling, this is where all the magic happens in my cup. So here, I don't know if you can see, I got some KSM 66 ashwagandha. So I actually got this from Katake, who is the owner of KSM 66. I visit him when I go to India, in Hyderabad, and he gifts me some KSM 66. I actually got KSM 66 in my testosterone support supplement, Ferrodrox. And then here I have some functional mushrooms in my non-dairy creamer from Laird's as well. So great for the immune system, great nootropic, which I definitely need in the morning. So I'll put a teaspoon of that in my cup of quaff. And I've got the shilajit over here melting a little bit because it does solidify. So that is the shilajit. It's black. I don't know if you can see in there. Put some light on the situation. And then I scoop out a little bit if I can. It's pretty darn hard. I'm just gonna get a little bit more. It's like a pea-size piece of shilajit is all you need. Not a pea-size, what am I thinking? Rice. Grain of rice. Boom. And that is my cup of quaff. And whilst I'm waiting for that, I usually get my water ready. That is my gallon jug. And in there I have some Supps that I'll get together. And I also put together a concoction, which I call the Live to 100. And so let me get all of that crap out. I'll dump it here so you can see everything that I put in there. All right, this is what I always start with, and that is hydrogen-rich water. So I get about 3 or 4 magnesium capsules or tabs, and I throw it in the water. I wait. I can't multitask when I do this because I'll forget, and I have to wait about around 90 seconds for those tabs to float to the surface. That's when I know the nitrogen is probably at its peak, and that's when I knock it back. So hydrogen rich water, hydrogen is a very, very strong antioxidant. Obviously you don't want too many antioxidants in your body because you do want a hormetic response. And this doesn't blunt that hormetic response, so it's a very, very good antioxidant. Whilst that is being done, I will have another strong antioxidant, and that is the carbon C60, coming in the form of the ESS60, which is the human consumable form from a company called My Vital C. Now I'll measure it out based on my body weight and knock that back. Kettle's done, screaming. And with that, with the My Vital C, the C60, like that has been shown in rodent models to extend the lifespan by 90%. It's 172 times more powerful as an antioxidant than vitamin C. So I like to get a lot of antioxidants in my system first thing in the morning. And I'd like to reuse the same jam jar because I don't want to do a shitload of washing, so I'll wait for this to be done. They float to the surface now, and then I'll use that same one for the Live to 100. But this water tap here is a reverse osmosis water filtration system. Take a little bit of that out. And it's got a remineralizer in there as well. So I'm getting good, clean, nourishing water. So start off with a little bit of organic lemon juice, then a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and then I will go with some hydrocharge for some flavor and electrolytes. Put about half a scoop of that in there. Then I put a full scoop of fermented glutamine in there. So I need to keep my glutamine levels topped up. And I have some spirulina here, which is again good for the immune system. I've got to make sure I don't make a mess. There's a lot of vitamins in here, and it's also a great binder. Another good binder as well that I have here somewhere, Corella, which is, of course, we live in a different environment than what we used to. We have a lot of pollutants in the air. There's a lot of heavy metal contaminants in our food, water system, stuff like that. So I want to make sure I'm getting a good couple of binders in there. And colostrum, I take this for my gut permeability, my gut health. So I'll take 1 scoop of that. And then I have my Reds juice. This is from Organifi. So there's a lot of other things in here other than beets, but beets is obviously a very good nitrate. It's good for blood flow. And then I get a plethora of greens in my Organifi greens juice. So I put everything in there. And now I'll take that spoon, stir that up. Sometimes I put bone broth in here as well. I haven't this morning because I forgot. I put water in there instead. So, but sometimes I'll use that Kettle and Fire organic bone broth as well. Not bad. This is my gallon jug where I put all my amino acids in for the day. So I've got Amino Synergy here, which is my essential amino acids. I'll put 3 scoops of that in. Sometimes I swap things up and I'll go for hydrocharge instead, but today I'm going for Amino Synergy. And then I'll put 2 scoops of Clear in there. That's a creatine monohydrate. That is completely soluble, so it doesn't sink to the bottom, and it doesn't cause any gastric upset whatsoever. And then I'll put 3 scoops of fermented glutamine in because I've already had a scoop, and because I've got to keep my glutamine levels topped up because I work out pretty friggin' hard. One thing that I haven't got here at the moment, that it is downstairs in the garage, and I'll just put it in after, is citrulline. I usually put 3 scoops of fermented citrulline in there, but what I'm doing right now is breaking off, right there, is 4 L-carnitine caps in there. I find this really helps with recovery, helps shuttle fat into our engine, which is the mitochondria, to be utilized as energy. There you go, one for luck. And that's it. So I get like a drip feed of my essential amino acids throughout the day. Keeps me full, because I find that if I don't drink enough water, I get cravings for food. And I find a lot of people overeat because they're not hydrated. So that's ready. Now I'm ready to fix up my coffee finally. I swap up what goes in the coffee some days to one day to the next. I'm putting some vanilla collagen in there today. Other times I'll put a scoop of the cage muscle whey isolate. So I've been putting the s'mores in there. S'mores is pretty darn good. But today we're doing this. So I like to put it in there first, melt it a little bit, especially the shilajit, and then I throw it in here in a bullet. Because I tell you what, it tastes so good. I don't know why, it just gives it a nice creamy texture once you've blended it. So one scoop. And that is it, it's done. As you can see, I'm a coffee snob. It's got to be just right. Yay, that is just right. Cheers. And now I like to go into what is called the beanbag room and get some infrared light therapy. So this is where I am for the next 10-15 minutes. So as you can see, I've got my feet up here, which is a device that I use that helps me do my headstands in the morning. It also acts like a great stand for my red light rising panel, which I have here. This is like the most powerful panel I believe on the market, so I don't have to spend so much time underneath it or in front of it. Over here I have what's called like a flex pulse as well, which is really good. I'm not using that at the moment, but like if I'm at my desk or multitasking or working, I can have that strapped around my neck for my thyroid or my lower back, because I do get a lot of lower back stiffness, especially as I'm doing a lot of kettlebell work at the moment. So that is great when I'm multitasking, but a lot of the time I'm lying down here first thing in the morning, exposing myself to, like I said, the far and near infrared frequencies. I'm also earthing myself. I've got an earthing mat that I've got my big fat ass on. I don't know if you can see it. Because it's essential that you're earthed as well when you're in front of a lot of infrared spectrum, because this can penetrate any like EMF. For instance, like there's a lot of dirty electricity, there's a lot of satellite signal, a lot of TV signal, and obviously EMF, and this can help magnify or penetrate that EMF into you, which is the opposite to what I want. I'm trying to mitigate EMF damage, so I'll make sure that I don't have my phone near me, or I have it on airplane mode, and I'm earthing myself at the same time, so I'm absorbing a lot of those negative ions, so it helps get rid of a lot of those EMF spectrum, frequencies as well. Because getting the body moving first thing in the morning, I think, is essential for brain function as well. Getting some nutrient-rich or oxygen-rich blood to the brain, I feel that's my AA batteries. It makes me feel better physically and mentally. So I go down into the garage or the pain cave. Sometimes it's outside for a run or bike ride. But today it's going to be in the garage. I'm going to do a little bit of movement down there. Alright, the pain cave. Got my jug there. As you can see, I don't like to drink out of plastic all the time, so I got an awkward flask. So in the pain cave here, I've got kettlebells, I've got a punch bag, I've got a carol bike, I've got a tire, hammer, loads of stuff. But what I generally do is go instinctive. Sometimes I'm just on the bike exclusively or on the curved treadmill. Today I'm going to do a bit of a circuit which will go for about 40 minutes. I'm not going to bore you with all that. I will just go through one circuit so you can see what I do. Breakfast time, baby. So again, this sometimes changes because sometimes I fast. I don't eat until the afternoon. Last week I went through a 5-day fasting mimicking diet, which was annihilating. I did it, but I can't say that I enjoyed it.
Why did you do it?
Because I felt like I was slipping, you know, there was things in my life that I felt I'm kind of losing a grip on. So I needed to practice a form of discipline. And I knew I had that 5-day fast in my back pocket to do at some point. So I decided to do it, and helped. So can't say I enjoyed it, but anything worth doing isn't always enjoyable, is it, you know? So I've got some morel mushrooms that I'm putting in yonder in the frying pan.
Got those from the farmer's market, right?
Farmer's market, yeah. And all of this is from the farmer's market as well. So I got some dill, put some spinach in here. And I've got a gourmet salad and some pea shoots. And I'm gonna put some sauerkraut and kimchi on here as well. Or maybe not in there, maybe I'll have that separate because the kimchi that I've got at the moment is bloody spicy. So try to avoid carbs in the morning because it makes me much more hungry during the day, and I've got a huge appetite as it is. And I'm not trying to put on size or anything at the moment, just trying to kind of stay where I am. So yeah, I find that what I'm having now is a beef burger from Nutrition Solutions. I got some broccoli in there. There's some sweet potato fries, but I'm going to save them for a later meal. And I'll put some olive oil on there and I'm good to go. So here I have the Nutrition Solutions beef burger with broccoli. I added some kimchi and sauerkraut. And I absolutely, like, if you've been following me for years now, you'll know that I just love Nutrition Solutions. And I was just saying, we were just having a conversation yesterday that we save so much time, and time is money, from not having to cook our meals. Yeah, of course we'll warm them up. I don't warm them up all the time, but a lot of the time they're just pre-prepared, and it's just so easy, and they make the food so much better than what I would. I can't speak for that Sunshine here. She does pretty
definitely
good
better than what I would do.
But like they put so much food, like herbs, spices, just different ways, and the menu changes every week. So I don't get bored, you know what I mean? So that's cool. It's like, oh, what's in this week? So I've made a salad here with what I mentioned before. What I've sprinkled on top are some baruca nuts. So baruca nuts, not that common at the moment. So I've got Darren Ollian, the founder, who is known as the superfood founder, coming on my podcast this week. But these are higher in protein, higher in fiber, higher in antioxidants, lower in fat than pretty much any other nut on the planet. And they taste phenomenal. And he says, usually when you go and hunt for a food that is so healthy, so high in antioxidants, you usually taste it and go, okay, now I'm gonna have to formulate it or do this to it in order for it to be palatable. But it's a really tasty nut.
It is really good.
Yeah. And then my dressing that I got on here is a little bit of the vegan ranch. That's from our friend Mark Sisson of Primal Kitchen. And then I have this Grove and Vine organic olive oil that gets sent to us, so it isn't sitting rancid on the supermarket shelves. And we use that as our dressing.
Not looking la 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 la.
So if you look at all like the blue zones where there's a disproportionate amount of people living over the age of 100, yeah, olive oil, Mediterranean diet.
That there.
And then usually before our meal, I'm not religious, but kind of spiritual. We usually have a little pray and be grateful for the food and take our time eating the food, because quite often you'll be scrolling, reading, watching whilst you're eating and you're not really feeling nourished, and you should feel nourished. You shouldn't feel like, oh man, I've got to eat more, which generally I do. So I try to slow down, enjoy the food, be mindful, and take it away, Sybil.
No, I was gonna say you take it away, but mainly it's because usually, you're rushing, just putting food in your mouth and not really just taking time to be like, wow, thank you. I'm getting so many good nutrients here, and like almost like visualizing that you're gonna be full and not gonna go back to the fridge or not gonna go back for the snack like I would, and that has helped. Because usually I'm just like, okay, I just had a meal, now what am I gonna eat now? And it's like, no, just like let this truly do its job to feed you. But you can say a word today.
You're much
it's your
better.
show. It's your YouTube channel.
You're much better than me. All right. Thank you for providing this food to us. It's going to nourish us. We've got our proteins, we've got our antioxidants, we've got our fiber, we've got our prebiotics, we've got our probiotics. This is going to feed us. It's going to fuel us. We're going to enjoy the colors and the texture and allow us to attack the day mindful and fueled.
Amen.
Amen.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit, baby. Yes. Oh, you've got your son.